Hello and welcome back to the 2020 Toyota U.S. Figure Skating Championships in Greensboro, North Carolina. We are inside the Greensboro Complex Coliseum here, and we just saw Nathan Chen win his fourth consecutive U.S. National Men's title, and now it's time to determine the gold medal in the pairs event. Welcome everybody to the Ice Desk. I'm here with my panel of experts, Mariah Nagasu and Brooke Castile. Thank you both for joining us again, and we just saw, as I said, a fantastic men's event. Can we carry that momentum into the pairs event is the real question. The Canierums right now have a solid, comfortable lead after the short program. They are two-time champions. Let's take a look at the standings after the short program. We have four teams, actually, in this event that are nationals champions, have been national champions. The Canierums are on top there, a comfortable 7-point lead. Kane and O'Shea, also national champions, back in 2016, and then Kane, Gribble, and Leduc, who are the defending champions. And then also Callalang and Johnson are in top four as well there. Brooke Castile, what were your thoughts after the short program? Who was the Canierums, as I said, had a nice, comfortable lead after the short. Can they hold on to that in the free skate?
I mean, who's to say they can hold on? They do have a comfortable lead. 7 points is very comfortable, especially when they have so much to offer in the long program. They have so many. You have to remember, in the short, there's only one lift. In the long, there's 3, and that's a lot of points for them to gain. They were close to 10 points on their lift in the short program, far above everyone else. And if you add 3 of those, that's a lot of points. So for them, having a lead going into the long is really, really comfortable for them, and that's good. It works to their advantage. But who knows? With any of these teams, I'm not quite sure what they're going to do in the long. A pairs free skate is very difficult. It's very, very difficult to skate clean. That's why we've had so many different champions over the last few years. And it really, I think, is still anyone's game. I do think they are the strongest team overall, especially if they skate well. I think it's theirs, but who's to say?
Well, I think we talked about this a little bit before the short program, that they're probably the most well-balanced team, the team that has the most potential to do well at a World Championships, and they showed that. We've been waiting to see a great performance, and they finally had it the other night, and they really exude that energy and excitement. Alexa has so much energy on the ice, and we saw that in the short program, and that's exactly why they took the lead. And look at the height on this split twist.
And it's not even just the height, it's the ease that they come out of their twist, out of every single element. I mean, all of the teams have decent transitions as far as choreography is concerned, but theirs start immediately from an exit of an element. They come out of everything very easily. That's part of being together for so long. And they also come, like, just no problem, no stop and go. And I think that really is why they are 7 points ahead, even though there was a clean skate right behind them as well.
Well, they're very comfortable. I think they made a coaching change last year. They're with Jenny Mino and Ton Sand, and I think a year under their belt, a little bit more comfortable with that environment, a little bit more comfortable with their training. And we saw Chris actually in the warm-up of that short program really struggle with that triple toe loop, and then when it counted, he absolutely nailed it when he had to.
And I think it was a smart choice going to Jenny and Todd because, and I wanted to talk about this last year and I never got a chance to, what they need is kind of mentors of someone who have been in their position before, and Jenny and Todd were one of the last dominant U.S. pair teams. And I think they're really good mentors for them. They treat them like adults, which they are. Chris is 32. He's only a year younger than me. And I'm old. I've been done for 10 years, which is crazy. But I think it's a really good choice for them because that's what they need at this point in their career. And you can finally seeing that change pay off.
And Kane and O'Shea in second place after the short program. They have a new short program. They skated it very well, skated to their strengths the other night. And then also Kane, Gribble, and Leduc. They are the defending champions. But here you see Kane and O'Shea here with the split triple twist.
Yeah, I mean, they skated the best they could have skated the other day. And I think that has to feel good because they kind of struggled in the Grand Prix this season, especially in the short program. And they have a history of coming to nationals and skating lights out in the free skate and getting standing O's and having like amazing national moments. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a clean skate from them tonight. I really think it's just to the other two teams who are very strong. What they do depends on where where Kane and O'Shea end up.
Well, I do have to say, I love his hairstyle. It's very becoming. Um, no, that was a good skate for them. They positioned themselves well to skate here and skate for the title. And then also Kane Gribble and Leduc had a slight mistake in their short program on the death spiral, correct?
Yes, they when they did their death spiral, he put his heel down. Right in the beginning, you saw it. I don't know if to the naked eye you can see it, but right when he put his pick in, he let his heel touch, and you're not allowed to do that. So the element did not count at all. They got dashes straight across on their protocol. That's about anywhere from 4.5 to 5 points that they lost off the top of their score, and that's a big deal, especially in short, where there's only 8 elements and every single one counts.
Especially in about a 5-point difference between that second and third place, so that was the difference. So we got the pairs event, the long program, the gold medal will be determined right now. So you guys in the venue, enjoy that performance. I'm tossing it to you, Rusty, in the venue. And we're continuing on here, Facebook Live and the YouTube channel, Facebook Live and the YouTube channel for U.S. Figure Skating, and continuing talking a little bit about the pair teams. We did talk about that mistake that Kane and Leduc did make, but now does that take pressure off of them, or is that more pressure on them? Because they are the defending champions, usually that's more pressure, but it's almost like, well, we're not in first right now, so does that take some of the pressure off of them?
I mean, it goes both ways. It's great to have a 7-point lead going into a long. I would love to go into a long with a huge lead.
Right.
And it's also something about being behind in the short when you go step on the ice for a free skate with nothing to lose and you just put it all out there. It just depends on the event and the skater, and it's different every single time. So to answer your question, I don't know.
And also, another thing that's interesting, too, is they had a day off in between their short and their free program. Is that something, Mariah, that you would have liked to have in between, or do you want to keep, I guess if you have some momentum, you want to keep that into the free skate, or is it something that's better to rest and recover?
These are factors that at the end of the day, you kind of just have to accept. I feel like when I was competing, I knew that I was at nationals because I had that day in between. But when you go internationally, you don't have that day in between because you have the weekend for that event, and then you get in and you get out and you go on to the next event. And so I think that they're prepared to have that day off because this is nationals and it happens every single year, and every single year they have that day off. And so I hope that it helps them to their advantage. They forget about their performance and they continue on. But I mean, who knows? I feel like it's anyone's game at this point. And the point difference isn't that much. It's one element. And I wish that Kane Gribble and Leduc hadn't missed that element, because I would have liked to see a closer gap in between the top 3 pairs.
And then also, we haven't spoken as well about Kyle Lang and Johnson, who were in 4th place after the short program. They train alongside the Canirums. We've often talked about that sometimes. It's like, is it better to practice and train with some of your big competitors, or is it a little bit more nerve-wracking because you always know your competitors are watching you? What do you think?
I prefer to train with my competitors. I think it helps motivate you. I think as long as you have a good attitude towards your competitors and a good camaraderie, it's really great. And I was in a situation where it was like that, and it always just pushed me to work a little bit harder. Some people, they'd rather have all the attention be on them from their coach and kind of be able to just focus on themselves and skate in a little bit more peace, I guess. So I think it just depends on the skater, really. But I think most skaters prefer to be in more of a competitive environment.
There's a reason training towns kind of rise out of nothing, and I think Colorado Springs for me was that. I knew there was not much else to do besides skate, so I'd go in, do my job, and then look at the mountains.
I liked a little bit of both. I always wanted a little bit of that motivation, a little bit of that fire, but then I didn't want to have to feel like I had to be on all the time, because my competitor's like, oh my gosh, look at him, he sucks this week. I didn't want to have that type of pressure either. You want a little bit of an alone time to kind of just go through your own mindset and your own progression of preparing for competition.
Did you have a lot of private ice? Because I can't imagine what private ice would do to me, because I like having things going on around me.
I didn't have private ice in the sense that it was just me on the ice, but I did have private ice in the sense that I was the only senior level competitor there. Like, I was on the ice a lot of times with, an 8-year-old working on her axle. And, but they were always very respectful, moved aside when I did my performance and when I did my programs and practice and stuff like that. But I was definitely not private ice type of skater. But anyway, that was, I think that's interesting to always see. Is it something that makes you better, because people like Raphael Artunian, when he had everybody there, he had Adam Rippon there, he had Nathan Chen there, he had all these guys. Ashley Wagner, yeah.
I think it makes you even more competitive and hungrier, because you're also fighting for your coach's attention, and I liked it because I was one of the priorities.
Yes.
But I think but I think it's a little bit different for everybody. Absolutely.
And then also down, actually in 6th place, are Haven Denny and Brandon Frazier, who are also national champions as well. And they actually had a lot of momentum coming into this with a very good Grand Prix season. We're performing rather consistently, got a medal at Skate America, and then, in the short program, they kind of struggled. I think her jumps are kind of the ones that are the crapshoot there. And if she hits those, then absolutely, the program
their elements
continues
are beautiful,
with those.
and them bringing back Lion King is something I'm really excited about, because I love this program for them. It's strong and powerful, and I really get into the music, so I'm excited to see it tonight.
Yeah, and their free skate is one of the ones I'm most excited to see, and the crowd's going to be so excited. It ends just so on such a high with all the tricks they do at the end. Unfortunately, because they are in 6th in pairs, only the top 4 after short are in the last group, which really is tough. In singles, it's the top 6 are in the last group, and that really gives you a chance, even if you mess up the short a little bit, to be in the last group, still have a fighting chance. With pairs, there's not a lot of movement between the groups, so it's unfortunate for them that they're not in the final group. Luckily, they had such a great Grand Prix season that judging will, they'll keep that in mind, but it is a fabulous free skate.
Yeah.
They've skated it well all year. I have a feeling they'll skate it well again tonight, but they are unfortunately pretty far behind. I don't have the point totals right in front of me, but...
Right, but I think, like you were saying, the long program has been their strength all season, and so it's good to have that as your strength when coming from behind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, and so let's take a look at some of the season scores for the top pair teams on the Grand Prix circuit. You see there the Canierums at top with 131, but it's look at that, really tight.
Yeah, it's really anyone's game. Like we said, they're all national champions. They're all capable of skating very well. We've seen them all skate clean before, and I have no idea what's going to happen tonight.
So then specifically, what do you think the difference is going to be? Like, what's going to separate them?
Obviously, we're going to have to talk about it. It's jumps, side-by-side jumps. Right. You don't want a catastrophe where the girl lands one of the jumping passes and the guy falls or pops, and then vice versa on the second one. Mm-hmm. That tends to happen a lot, and that is worst case scenario. You basically have nothing, and that would be something that if we see that's going to really affect where you end up. If everyone skates clean, the difference will be, like I said, the component mark, the transitions, the lifts, death spiral, speed, connection to each other. I think that's something that you really see difference between all of these teams, and speed. That's something when you watch pairs. I was watching the practice footage that we had, and the camera couldn't even stay on the teams. And it's interesting which teams specifically they had a hard time shooting, because they're so fast, they're so powerful, they cover so much distance vertically as well as across the ice. And I think that's something that, if everyone skates clean, makes a huge difference in the score.
And I think, with me, when I'm skating as a single skater, it's just like I'm the only variable. It's just me. Like, I got to keep my stuff together to make sure I hit my jumps. Is it much more challenging, obviously, when you have 2 people that have to be on and they have to be in sync in order to make the performance? For me, it's just me. I just got to make it happen.
Absolutely. If you watch a lot of these skaters practice, when they jump alone, warming up for their practice, or if they're doing a single session, they'll land most of their jumps, 9 out of 10. As soon as they get together, that percentage goes down like 50%.
Right.
So it's a lot harder when you're trying to match a tiny 5-foot girl to a 6-foot guy and match your timing. And then over the years, eventually your timing just never, sometimes almost isn't even yours anymore.
Right.
And it's really hard to adjust, and you're not doing something that's natural.
So what you're saying is whoever sheds their nerves and gets the jumps done is going to win.
Yeah, you don't need to be perfect. Just get through it.
Speaking of who's going to win, what are your predictions, guys?
Mine is so spot on. I have
Ready?
No idea.
3, 2, 1, go.
I cheated. I really don't know, and I think that speaks a lot about this event, that anyone could win.
I think I know.
Who'd you say?
We both.
I got the
picked
ladies. I nailed the ladies. I'm going to be 2 for
Alexa
2.
and
That's
Actually,
who,
But
if
they
they
have a
if they skate
comfortable
well,
lead.
they will win.
And they're going to get positive GOEs on all of their elements. The only thing that's holding them back is their side-by-sides. And that's the one thing that's a little inconsistent. Last year was definitely a fluke performance. And so I think they're going to rein it back in.
all right, you heard it here first. Mariah Nagasu knows who the winner is going to be.
I haven't gotten any of the predictions, so
So that means you're
maybe-
due. You're due. It's the due theory. You're due a victory now. Well, we still have lots to come. I can speak. We
Lots to
still
come.
have lots to come this evening. We got the pairs gold medal, skating for the gold medal, and then right after that we will review it here at the ice desk, and then also we have the free dance, skating for gold, and then afterward we got an ice desk reviewing that here, and Ben Augusto will be back, our resident expert in ice dance. So for right now, enjoy the pairs free skate as they skate for the gold medal and national title. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you soon.